When I moved into Willowbend Grove, I thought I was buying peace. The lawns were sharp, the mailboxes matched, and every driveway looked like it came out of a real estate catalog. But what I really bought was war, because right across the street, behind a lemon-yellow door and a hedge trimmed like it was auditioning for a topiary competition, lived Brenda Caldwell, president of the HOA, and queen of passive-aggressive warfare. She didn't knock to say hi. She duct-taped a 58-page rulebook to my door. Not painter's tape duct tape, the kind that leaves a mark. And on top, a sticky note that said, "Welcome. We'll be watching. B. C." I figured maybe she was just intense. But 3 days later, I got cited for my trash bins being out 14 minutes past collection time. The week after that, a warning because my porch light gave off a cold hue. She handed me a pamphlet on warm lumens. Like this was a spiritual problem. Then came the flags. Tiny white markers in my yard, each with handwritten critiques like uneven hydration zones or turf inconsistency equals neglect. I'm not kidding. It was like she was staging a one-woman intervention for my grass. I tried being civil, made her iced tea. She smiled like a wax statue and said, "Don't take it personally. We just have standards. You'll adjust." That was the first time I felt it hat crawl under your skin when someone says "we," but they mean me with power. I started watching her. Every morning, she watered her lawn while checking it with a tape measure. I wish I was exaggerating. One night, I caught her kneeling at the edge of my flower bed, literally measuring the distance from the sidewalk. The next morning, I got cited again, glitter pen, and all for an improper flower bed setback. Then came the bleach. I woke up early one morning, window cracked open, hoping to catch a breeze. Instead, I caught the smell sharp, acidic, like a bottle of pool shock had exploded in the wind. I looked out, and my lawn was streaked with white-yellow burns, like someone had tried to scrub it out of existence. There were faint sneaker prints, orthopedic, size who knows what, leading right back across the street. Now, I could have gone full scorched earth, but Brenda loved conflict. She fed off it. She wanted me to snap so she could clutch her pearls and play the victim. So I smiled, nodded, and installed a motion camera inside a decorative owl in my yard. 2 weeks passed. Then one morning at 4:42 a.m., she struck, gloves on, bleach in hand, muttering about standards like she was performing a sacrament. But the footage grainy, fogged up, enough to suspect, not enough to accuse. That's when I got creative. I ordered a bottle of UV ink, the kind you can't see unless you shine a blacklight on it. And one moonless night, I painted her perfect white fence with messages like Bleach Bandit and HOA equals her own agenda, completely invisible. Until inspection night, I invited the board over for a lawn safety review. Flashlights out, Brenda leading the charge with her usual tight smile. Then boom, every hidden message lit up like a suburban light show. The look on her face, priceless. The rest of the board? Silent, uncomfortable. Some looked at her, others looked away. But it wasn't over. Brenda retaliated by filing a community concern about the very lawn she'd destroyed. A formal HOA letter arrived, warning me about yard degradation. The gall, the bleach still fresh in the soil, and she had the nerve to fine me for it. So I started digging, quietly. And that's when Carl, the HOA's vice president and resident sock with sandals guy, accidentally let slip that Brenda had her own little spreadsheet. A secret file. I played it cool, bribed him with craft beer. And 3 days later, a flash drive showed up in my mailbox wrapped in a napkin. It was a treasure trove. Fines she made up. Citations for things that weren't even in the bylaws. Venmo receipts linked to her personal account. My favorite? A $30 fine for excessive garden gnome density. I compiled it all into a neat little Google Drive. and sent it to every resident with the subject line, "The HOA audit Brenda didn't want you to see." You can guess what happened next. Facebook exploded. One neighbor printed "Bylaw Bandit" in chalk across her driveway. Carl resigned. The treasurer admitted he'd never seen a single one of the payments. Brenda tried to defend herself with a 10-page memo delivered by hand. But her empire was already cracking. And then, it got weirder. I found another citation. Anonymous. Accusing me of using non-regulation porch seating. But the language wasn't Brenda's. It was colder. More precise. I checked my Ring footage. And that's when I saw her Linda. The HOA secretary. Sweet. Quiet Linda. Walking past my yard every Thursday with her dog. Pausing in front of my flower bed. I checked behind the stone. Found a tiny black pinhole camera. Then another under the mailbox. One more behind the downspout. All recording me. All Wi-Fi enabled. I took them to Darren, our resident tech wizard and chaos gremlin. He pulled the footage. Traced the signal. Boom. Linda's Wi-Fi. We called an emergency meeting. Presented the footage. Linda didn't even deny it. Just said, "People like him invite disorder." She was voted out on the spot. Brenda was barred from ever attending a meeting again. The bylaws. Amended. No surveillance allowed without consent. Brenda tried one last move. She filed a lawsuit. Defamation. Emotional distress. Community erosion. And it was beautifully formatted too beautifully. That's when I found out. She was a disbarred attorney. Lost her license for filing frivolous lawsuits. We showed the court her past. Her fake fines. Her PayPal logs. The judge dismissed the case. Fined her again. And referred her to the district attorney. And just when we thought that was the end of the story, a letter arrived. From her daughter, Melissa. She thanked us. Said we had done what she couldn't. Said her mom had always been obsessed with control since she was a kid. That the rulebooks weren't just power grabs. They were a way to feel safe. I'll be honest. I didn't expect to feel anything. But I did. A little pity. Maybe. Not enough to forgive. But enough to understand. Brenda wasn't just a tyrant. She was someone who lost control of her life and tried to rebuild it by controlling everyone else's. And me? I still live here. Same house. Same lawn. Now greener than ever. But at night, if you shine a black light on Brenda's old fence, the messages are still there. Still glowing. A little dimmer now. Maybe. But still visible. A quiet reminder of what happens when someone mistakes control for community. So now I've got to ask, what would you have done? Was the UV ink too much? Or did Brenda have it coming? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Tell me your worst HOA story. And if you're here for petty justice, poetic revenge, and a little suburban chaos, hit that subscribe button. Because sometimes, mowing your lawn isn't enough. Sometimes, you've got to fight back.